City boy, city boy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nick the Great, back with another video. And you know we gotta go ahead and do our 2025 Clash in Paris, Trash in Paris, Ass in Paris review, baby. Okay? This is, oh man, oh man, I do it for the people, man. This shit was garbage, dog. I could not stand this show from top to bottom. In my opinion, this show just exposed everything wrong with the booking today in Triple H's era. There is no creativity at all. We are getting Raw and SmackDown matches on a PLE that people are paying thousands and thousands of dollars to sit and watch live. People paying hundreds of dollars a year to watch from home on Peacock, from home on Netflix, cable, whatever, right? People are paying so much money, and this product, like, they give us absolutely fucking nothing. Everything is a rerun. Everything is a repeat, a rehash. Nothing is new, original, innovative, creative. Nothing. Triple H is the worst. This show here, it signified that, like, it completely solidified, I should say, that Triple H is the worst booker of all time. He is. It does not, like, there is no one else that can come close. Because nobody else has failed on this massive of a scale as Triple H has in his time as WWE head of creative. He has crashed and burned this business. Took them in less than a year, or maybe a little over a year, from sellouts on top of sellouts on top of sellouts, merchandise flying off the shelves, stacked arenas, big money, TV deals, Netflix deals. Went from there, and at least a respectable number of viewers, halfway decently respectable number of viewers, are hovering around the 3 million range for SmackDown, hovering around that 2 million range for Raw. Now, you can't even crack 1.5 million for SmackDown. You can barely crack 1.3 million viewers for SmackDown. You can hardly crack 700,000 to 1.4 million live American viewers on Netflix, or just American viewers, period, over the course of a week, because that's how Netflix counts their shit. Triple H has buried this company. Globally, there's 700 or 300 million people, however fucking many people, with a Netflix account. And only 1.3 people across the globe outside of America are trying to tune in. 1.3 million out of hundreds of millions. WWE was supposed to be bringing in big numbers on Netflix. But they lied to Netflix just like they lied to everybody else. They lie. That's what they do. And we get to the night show. And this show, like I said, is just everything. Just the overall of this show, it really just goes to prove everything that I've said so far on this channel, man. And notice, I wanted to put this out there, that however many times they say, oh, there's 30,000 plus people in this arena, they said that shit at least 15, 20 times throughout, throughout the evening. At least 15, 20 times they said that shit, right? Funny to me. Real funny to me. Not once did they say this is a sold out show, because it's not. Because why would it be? Who the fuck wants to watch a show with 5 matches? You're going to pay thousands of dollars to watch a show that has 5 matches on the card. barely any segments that you're going to be able to sit through. You had 2 segments tonight. We'll get to them. This is where we're at. You want people to pay thousands of dollars to sit through a bunch of Raw and SmackDown matches. Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Sheamus versus Rusev. Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella on a PLE in fucking Pelly? Are you kidding me, man? Like, you're going to fucking Paris, France? And that's your big idea? That's your big... You don't even have your women's world champions. And we will be talking about this shit too a little bit later in the video. But you don't even have your women's world champions on the fucking show in Pelly. I know that Raw doesn't have one right now, so there's that. But SmackDown definitely does. Where the fuck was Tiffany Stratton? This is what I'm saying. There is no care put into this show. There is no care put into the production of these shows. We started off this show the same way we start off every show, with some fucking superstar arrivals. People walking in with fucking Starbucks in their hands, dog. Like, how am I... Come on now. You got to get people excited. You got to do better than that, man. You have to do better than that. There is no pyro. No crazy ass pyro with loud head banging ass music. I've grown out my dreads, man. You know how long I've been waiting to headbang and have hair to do it? And now I can't even do it when I'm watching these shows? You know how long? Man, I used to headbang with a bald head as a kid, dog. Headbanging to the Raw intro. Headbanging to the SmackDown intro. Headbanging to the Judgment Day intro. I'm talking about the pay-per-view back in the day. Headbanging to the Great American Bash intro. Headbanging to the Backlash intro. I'm headbanging. Because all these shits fucking bangers, bro. We get fucking generic ass halfway rap music. Some fucking shit that they pulled off of Canva or some shit. One of those soundtracks they pulled off of there, or iMovie or some shit. One of these royalty-free tracks. Like, what the fuck is this shit, man? This low-effort ass garbage, man. Let's go ahead and jump into tonight's show. I've kept you waiting long enough. I had to go ahead and throw that all out there before I jumped into it because of how fucking bad this is. Obviously I haven't been here in a little bit, man, and it's because of how hard I've been working at my main job, man. And you got to understand that I feel like I've said this before. You got me. I'm crawling around all day in attics. You know what I'm saying? I'm fixing ACs. I'm handling hundreds of volts of electricity on a day-to-day basis. Could die. You know what I'm saying? Handling dangerous chemicals on a day-to-day basis. Could die. Right? And then I come home. I want to be entertained and captivated by something. WWE is not doing it right now, man. It's not. And I don't feel bad about it. Not even a little bit. Alright? So, sorry for being gone. But hey, your boy is back to talk about Clash and ass and trash in Paris, baby. So, let's go ahead and jump into the review.
Yeah, I'm feeling the rage.
As stated, we started off this show with some motherfucking superstar arrivals, man. And it is what it is. We'll move on. We got a very low effort intro, some shit that I could have whipped up on fucking iMovie or some shit like that, and fucking give me 2 hours. I could have whipped this shit up on iMovie. This is how fucking low effort this intro was for this PLE. Then we start off the show with the actual match that obviously takes 20-30 minutes to start because it's a Roman Reigns match. So we have to wait. and watch as Roman Reigns, who looked absolutely spectacular tonight, all right? I will say that. Roman Reigns came and he looked in terrific shape, all right? All oiled down. No Diddy. Bro broke into Diddy's closet. But this is what you want to see when you turn on the TV. This is what you want to see, right? What you want to see are people who are objectively attractive people. TV attractive people, right? And then after Roman Reigns comes out all oiled down, jacked to the fucking gills, hair, wet, fucking all over the place, 2 Ulafalas on, looking fucking gangster. Then here comes Bronson Sloppy Reed, this fat fuck with shoes around his neck. And I realized, like, man, this is like, what am I watching, man? Like, what am I doing here? That's legitimately how I'm feeling. I'm watching Bronson Reed come out. But like I said, this match took about 20 minutes to start because we're standing around, the crowd chanting Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, right? That's what the crowd is doing. So we have to wait until, finally we can get to a eventual lockup. This match was a Roman Reigns match. There's not too much that you can really say about it. Roman Reigns got his ass whipped for like 85% of it. Then he ended up picking up the victory off like a whim, where he just hit the spear kind of out of nowhere on Bronson Reed, and that was pretty much the end of the match. After the match, Paul Heyman, he's like bending over Bronson Reed, and he's like, no Diddy, damn, I don't know how that happened there. I don't know how that happened there. Yo, pause, dog. Right, so Paul Heyman, he's like over the top of Bronson Reed, and he's like looking down at him, and he's like, how could you let this happen? What happened? What happened? How could you let this happen? Then he stands up, he turns around. Obviously, Roman Reigns, he's standing right there staring Paul Heyman down. Paul Heyman, he starts groveling. He's like, I love you, my tribal chief. I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. One's to the sky, my tribal chief. And I'm like, if I'm Seth Rollins, I'm not taking this shit. This is now multiple times since the quote-unquote Paul Heyman turn. Since then, this is now multiple fucking times that Paul Heyman has quote-unquote acknowledged Roman Reigns. Why would you want somebody on your team that is a coward, that will sell you out? It makes no sense. And he's supposed to be some kind of wise man, some kind of oracle. And the whole time, Bronson Reed done lost this match. Paul Heyman's out here getting ready to get his ass whipped. And I'm thinking to myself, where the fuck is Seth and Braun? Right? Where the fuck are Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker? They have not shown up yet. This is strange. But Paul Heyman, as he's groveling, Roman Reigns is like, come on, come in for a hug, right? Paul Heyman comes in, Roman Reigns hits him with the guillotine, chokes him out, and drops his lifeless body to the floor. Very John Jones-esque. The crowd popped nice for it. And like I said, I'm thinking that this whole time, I'm like, where the fuck are Seth and Braun? Roman, he gets on top of the announce table, and he has the shoe lafala, you know what I'm saying? He got his shoes back. He's celebrating with the crowd. He tosses his shoes off into the audience. Somebody got him, and out of nowhere, Bronson Reed hits Roman Reigns with a spear through the announce table. Out of nowhere, Bronson Reed done already lost, but here comes Braun Breaker. Paul Heyman done already got choked out. But here comes Braun Breaker. Finally. Like, even Wade acknowledged the shit. He was like, Bronson Reed is lost the match. Paul Heyman's been knocked out, but that's the price you pay when you're going for absolute power. Like, just some garbage shit that doesn't even make sense. Like, we still haven't been explained what it means to have absolute power in the WWE. But after that happened, right, after Roman gets speared through the announce table, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they hit their finishers on him again, right? The medical team then comes out. They put Roman Reigns on a stretcher. While they're putting Roman Reigns on the stretcher, Bronson Reed runs back down the ramp, because they started walking back up the ramp, heading towards the entrance area, or the gorilla area. Bronson Reed then turns back around, runs back down the ramp, climbs up the turnbuckle, and the security and the medical team and all that shit that was just in the ring trying to secure Roman Reigns, they all literally just dip out of the ring. All of them dip out of the ring. Bronson Reed then hits the tsunami on Roman Reigns, right? The security that just got brought out to help Roman Reigns just left him helpless in the ring, attached to a fucking stretcher. And then here comes Jey Uso for the save. He comes out. He obviously gets beat down because it's 2 versus 1. Then Reed comes and he hits the tsunami again. He goes out of the ring again. Comes back in the ring, except this time, for some reason, the security decides to stay in the ring. This shit makes no sense, man. This shit makes no fucking sense. This is a segment, the same segment that we get on every single Monday Night Raw with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker beating somebody down. This is the same shit we get every fucking week with Roman Reigns. Whenever he comes back, all he does is get his ass whooped and gets written off TV for some months. This is it. This is just a rehash of a rehash of a rehash. Nothing original happened here. Not even the stretcher shit. All that shit was just a little bit extra. So that way Roman, he doesn't get completely buried when we write him off TV again for the next 4 months. After our advertisements and all that shit, we come back from break. Adam Pearce, he's pissed off at the Bronze. He ejects them from the arena, says that if they come back, they're gonna, be suspended indefinitely without pay. So they're not allowed back in the building. At this point, I'm still like, there's no way Seth Rollins is losing. There's still no way. Right? There's still no way. Some bullshit's gonna happen, and we will get to it, okay? So after this, we get to the Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six. All right, now the Street Profits, they came out in fucking Borderlands masks, okay? I don't play Borderlands. I played it maybe once or twice back in the day when I was a kid or something like that, but I'm not a big fan of Borderlands. This whole thing was just cringe, man. Like, This is what when people say, oh, now wrestlers are gonna start wearing logos and wearing advertisements. No, this is it. They've been doing this type of shit at least since WrestleMania that I can remember off of my head, that I can actually point to. They've at least been doing this shit with since WrestleMania, when they had the damn Viking Raiders or the Viking Warriors or whatever the fuck, the War Raiders, whatever the fuck they are right now. Okay, when they had them come out with the Clash of that shitty ass 3D printed Clash of Titans gear, hawking that fucking game. And this is the same shit. At the very least, they looked better because they were better. These were good quality masks. This was great quality. But at the end of the day, this shit was just cringe to see. So they come out, and after 8 years of tag teaming, however long it's been, 7-8 years of tag teaming, now all of a sudden the Street Profits, they're showing signs of disarray. They're showing signs of turning on each other, right? They're showing signs of miscommunications that they've never shown before. So maybe this will turn one of them into superstar or single superstars. This will give them their singles run that I just want to see them go on. And if this match is anything to go off of with as far as their single runs go, I'm excited for both of them. I think Angelo Dawkins could be a very decent mid-carder. He pulled off a bunch of awesome moves. He pulled off, like, there was this one move that he did. It was really simple, you know what I'm saying? But it was just something that he made look good, where he did this corkscrew crossbody, not a crossbody, but it was like a corkscrew like splash into the corner, into his opponent that was like sitting in the corner. It was like really cool, right? He went on this whole fucking sequence of moves where he just looked great. All right, the Wyatt Six made him look great tonight. That is what I'll say about Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, because I mean I'm gonna get to them in a second. First, we're talking about the Street Profits, okay? Because the Street Profits, they did something pretty damn good this evening. All right, they showed to me that both of them could be very good single stars. I think Montez Ford should move to Raw. I think Montez Ford should go after the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think he should go after the WWE Championship. It's just not, you know what I mean? But I think he should go after the World Heavyweight Championship. Fuck it, why not? Add some new blood into that title picture, all right? And Montez Ford, in my opinion, after watching him tonight, watching his performance, watching how he looked basically, and how he carried himself in tonight's match, to me, he showed that he can have a singles run if he really wanted to. If they actually put the fucking rocket on his back and don't even shoot him up to the main event immediately. You know what I'm saying? Have him stick around in the mid-card a little bit, maybe win 1 or 2 mid-card match. But he needs to go after that World Heavyweight Championship eventually. I think it's going to look great on him, for one. All right? And I think it would do wonders for his character, wonders for his career, as long as we have some creative storylines behind it. We don't have to do too much talking about this match. The Wyatt Six, they won, obviously. Okay? There's fucking 5-on-2 at whatever match. Which is another thing, is like, if you're going to kick out the Bronze for interfering in a match, or if you kick out the Bronze for being a nuisance, why won't you kick out the rest of the Wyatt Six? All right? Why don't you kick them out? Why don't you ban them from ringside and just let Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis fight? Oh, because then that would just be logical. So we move on. All right? Next up, we got Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch. This match was nothing to write home about. The whole story of this match was Nikki Bella's booty knuckles. That was it. That ass was on display tonight. Even Becky Lynch's ass looked pretty decent tonight. All right, and I don't normally say that about Becky Lynch, but her ass was looking okay tonight. And Nikki Bella's ass was looking like, this is all I could talk about from this match, because it was nothing special, right? It was nothing fucking special. This match had nothing going for it at all. Okay, so like the only thing that I will say about this match is that, at least compared to all the other matches on tonight's card, the feud leading up to this match, it was actually kind of decent, right? And not even because there was anything creative happening. It was the same shit that we always get. Couple brawls here, couple scathing promos here, but you know, it actually fit for both of their characters, because Nikki Bella was on Total Divas. Becky Lynch, the way that her character has been moving lately, you know, you could see that she would be some kind of person that would cut deep. And then women, they like to cut deep. And if you ever dealt with a woman, the arguments that they had over these last few weeks, very woman-esque. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get in that ring, and they're speaking womanese, and it makes sense for women, right? So at least I'll say that about this feud in general. All right, I'll give them their props there. I have been growing on, or Becky Lynch has been growing on me, I should say, and ever since I've been growing up, Nikki Bella's always had me growing in certain places. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. This match, like I said, not too much to write home about. Becky Lynch won with a roll up, because that's what we're doing in France. We come out to Paris. Guess what? You know what? We're doing something special for you. We're going to have Becky Lynch roll up Nikki Bella, and then we're going to have Wade Barrett try to get the Lynch pin over. We're calling that the Lynch pin from now on. No, we're not. All right? You can call it that, but I'm not doing it. Next up, we had God versus Sheamus, okay? Obviously, Sheamus lost this match, because when you're going up against God himself, there's no way, okay? There's no fucking way that you're going to win. It just is what it is. You have to bow down. All right? All jokes aside, this match between Rusev and Sheamus, all right, this match was okay. It was okay. But the problem is, this match was a mid-card Raw match at best. There's nothing on the line here besides pride. Like, that's it. Nothing was on the line. Just two 45-plus-year-old men throwing themselves through tables, jumping off of barrels. Like, these guys are in their 40s, getting into their fucking 50s. And look at what Triple H has them out there doing. Look at what Triple H has them doing to their fucking bodies, bro. As often as I see Marks bitch and cry and moan and complain about how wrestling isn't fake and how wrestling isn't this fake sport. Well, yo, I agree. Wrestling isn't fake. Wrestling is scripted. But let me ask you a question. Why would you script people to do these moves, to do this dangerous shit, when there's nothing on the line? Nothing on the fucking line, man. These guys are out there putting their lives on the line for nothing. For cheap pops. For a match that no one's going to remember tomorrow, bro. Fucking ridiculous, man. Rusev ends up picking up the victory with like an inverted like accolade. It was actually nice. I actually really like this move. I haven't seen him do it before. I'm sure he probably has, but I just haven't seen it done before. But he basically put Sheamus into the accolade, and then he fell backwards, pretty much bending Sheamus's legs underneath him while Sheamus's arms were behind him. So that was a pretty badass looking move right there, I will say so myself. But, you know, it is what it is. This is going absolutely nowhere. It's not like Rusev is going to be going after, like, the world title or anything like that. So, who cares, right? Oh, and there was a couple of major botches in this match, too. Like, there was a botch where Rusev was supposed to be hitting, like, a big back body drop on Sheamus, but he completely missed. Or I think maybe Sheamus missed. So Sheamus just, like, front flips himself. He just moonsaults, or is it a moonsault? Moonsaults backwards. He somersaults his way over Rusev for some fucking reason, right? Rusev had nothing to do with it, and Sheamus still sells it. Shit was crazy. And there was another spot in the match where fucking Sheamus and Rusev, they like, I forget what the fucking shit was. I think they were trying to hit one of those Celtic backbreakers, one of those backbreakers that Sheamus does where he like drops the guy on his knee. He like missed it at first. Like Rusev just like fell. Like Sheamus tried to pick him up and Rusev just fucking falls to the floor. He just collapsed to the fucking floor. Shit was so fucking botchy, man. This match was terrible. This had no business being on a fucking PLE that people paid thousands of dollars to see. All right. So that's that on that end. We move on to John Cena versus Logan Paul. This match was what it was. You know, it was a John Cena versus Logan Paul match. John Cena, he's great in the fucking ring. Stop with the 5 moves of doom nonsense. John Cena's hitting all kinds of great moves in this match. Logan Paul's hitting fucking on John. Logan Paul hit a fucking standing I'm trying to think of what the name is. It's a delayed suplex. All right, like a damn near like a jackhammer type shit. He did that on John Cena. All right, had him in the upright position for like 10 seconds. Logan Paul is just legit, right? As a pro wrestler, Logan Paul is legit. One of the most talented guys on the roster, literally more talented than 98% of the people on the roster. There's nothing really to talk about in this match, in my opinion. All right, maybe somebody else has more to say about this match, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I fell asleep, I think, like right after the match was over, or like it was like either right after the match was over or it was right before the match was over, because I do remember like watching. I remember seeing John Cena pick up the pin. I remember this, but I don't remember what exactly led to that, because at this point in the show, I'm bored as fuck. You know what I mean? I'm bored as fuck. So we move on to the main event. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus LA Knight versus Jey Uso. We all knew how this one was going to go. We knew Seth Rollins wasn't going to fucking pick up, or wasn't going to lose this match. We knew LA Knight wasn't going to win. We knew CM Punk wasn't going to win. We knew Jey wasn't going to win, especially after what happened earlier in the evening with the Bronze. All right, so this match really nothing to talk about, okay? There was a point in the match where CM Punk, he's getting ready to pick up the victory over Seth Rollins, but instead what ends up happening is as he's getting ready to hit a second GTS on Seth Rollins, a hooded figure comes out of the crowd and low blows CM Punk from behind, and who could it possibly be? And it's obviously a fucking woman. Like, it's obviously a woman, just the way that, you know, she was standing there. I was like, oh, okay, it's Becky, right? She pulls off the mask. Oh, it's Becky Lynch. Oh, yay, it's crazy. Yeah. We just did this shit with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa bringing in Candice LeRae. But now let's also bring in Becky Lynch for Seth Rollins. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, no fucking creativity. Zero creativity on this show. This was a Monday Night Raw show with less segments and 30-minute matches. This was not entertaining in the slightest. And if this right here product is the product that they're putting out, that they say we are now going to have to start paying $20 more a month for, no, I refuse. Triple H, like I said, is the worst booker of all time. It is what it is. Nobody's paying for this fucking garbage anymore. It is time to boycott WWE. It is time to stop watching this shit. It is time to start going outside, touching more grass, okay? This is not worth it. These shows are not worth the watch, man. They're not worth spending the time, the effort, the editing prowess, the power, everything that I have to go through. So guess what? I'm just not going to do it that much. You know what I mean? Like, unless this show starts to pick up, like, I'll still hit every single PLE. I'll still, you know, watch the shows. But as far as, like, watching, doing the full review, like, these shows do not warrant somebody sitting through the entirety of the show. They just don't. You can watch the highlights and get you can get a better experience out of watching the highlights full all the way through than you will watching the entire show. And that's sad. The highlight should be like a little taste of it, a little, you know what I'm saying? Just to get your feet wet, just to get in the door. That's what highlights should be. Highlights should be like, oh shit, this is a crazy shit, but this isn't even the best part. You gotta watch and see how we got here. See what made people do all these things. But there is none of that. There's no reason why people are doing any of these things, right? I always say, especially when I first started this channel, I always have explained that the story does not happen in the what. Okay? I want to become champion. That's not a story. The story does not happen in the what. The story happens in the why, in the where, in the who, in the how. That's where the story lies, not in the what. The what is what brings the story together, right? The what, the MacGuffin, the whatever it is, that is what may start the story. That is what may get the story going. But it's the how, it's the who, it's the when, it's the why, it's the where. That's what creates the story. That's what brings it together. But Hunter does not think of any of that. It's just cheap pop, cheap thrill. Last month or a couple of weeks ago, we had Brock Lesnar make his miraculous return to the WWE roster, and a couple of weeks later, to end off the show at Ass in Paris, we have Becky Lynch coming out in a fucking ski mask after she just had a match against Nikki Bella an hour or so ago. Garbage. Trash. Beyond it, man. Fuck that shit, man. This show is everything wrong with professional wrestling these days, man. Everything wrong. All right? LA Knight, MVP of the evening. It is what it is. Put the title on my boy. This has been your boy Nate the Great, back with another video. Let me know what y'all thought about this show down in the comments below. I gave this show a 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 1 out. I don't know, man. I'll give it a 2.5 out of 10. All right, because at the very least, LA Knight was super over this evening. I got to see a whole lot of Nikki Bella booty. Nikki Bella was she was my crush growing up. So seeing that she still looks absolutely spectacular in her latter years, it validates me. Okay, personally. All right, just imagine knocking that thing down in her prime, and having her sign contracts and go crazy. John Cena had that thing on him. Oh, man. All right, I'm rambling now. All right, let me know what y'all thought about this show down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. And this has been your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And I'll see you.